algebra topics. Um, so start with this one. So let A1, A2 up to A11 be an arbitrary arrangement of integers 1 to 11. Then the number A1 minus 1, A2 minus 2 up to A11 minus 11, which is the product of all these differences, is what? Now, we have 11 numbers here, which is 1, 2, 3 up to 11. And in these 11 numbers, we have 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 11, which are odd. And we have 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10, which are even. So that means we have 5 even numbers and 6 odd numbers. So therefore, if I arrange them in any order, right? Arbitrary arrangement, no order. Okay. So any term can fill in the value of A1, A2, A3. So A1, A2, A3 up to A11. So each of these numbers can be either even or odd, right? So one of the numbers has to be odd. It can be A11, it can be any of them, right? So one of the numbers has to be odd, okay? And the rest 5 and odd and 5 even will be distributed among the rest of the 10 numbers A1 to A10, right? So which means that when we are looking at the differences, right? So we can have odd minus odd, or even minus even, or even minus odd. So these are the three possibilities, right? So that means we have here also we have 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 11. So we have 6 odd numbers and 5 even numbers, right? So therefore, no matter how I consume these numbers, there would be one odd number from these 1 to 11 left, and there will be one odd number from the original set left. So there has to be necessarily one odd minus odd, which is even. The rest can be combined with each other. For example, one of the combination can be A1 can be 2, and that would be 2 minus 1. Then I can have A2 is, let's say, 1, 1 minus 2. A3 is 4 minus 3. A4 is 2 minus, uh, no, sorry, 1, 2, 4, 3 minus 4. A5 is 2, 4, 6 minus 5. A6 is 1, 3, 5 minus 6. Then A7 is 2, 4, 6, 8 minus 7. A8 is 7 minus 8. A9 is 10 minus 9. A10 is 9 minus 10. And A11 would be 11 minus 11, right? So this could be one possibility, right? or it can be, instead of this 11, I can have any odd number here. So this can be 11 minus 10. This can be 9 minus 11, right? So that means one of the numbers has to be necessarily even. The other pairs can all be odd. So that means the overall product has to be necessarily even. Clear? Okay. Guys, please stop me and ask if you have any doubts. Okay. This is an easy one. 3 boys of class 1, 4 boys of class 2, and 5 boys of class 3 sit in a row. The number of ways they can sit so that boys of the same class sit together. So there are 3 groups, 1, 2, and 3. And these groups have to sit together. So the number of ways that these can be arranged is factorial 3. Now, once I have arranged them in some order, let's say 1, 2, 3, or 2, 1, 3, or 3, 1, 2, or anything. So there are 6 possible ways of doing that, right? So once I have arranged them in some order, one of the arrangements, then within group 1, there are 3 boys. So within group 1, there can be permutation of 3 factorial, right? Let's say we have A, B, and C. They can be arranged within the group in factorial 3 ways. Similarly, there are 4 boys in 2, so they can be arranged in factorial 4 ways. 5 boys in group 3, they can be arranged in factorial 5 ways. So that means the overall number of all possible arrangements is factorial 3 into factorial 3 into factorial 4 into factorial 5, which is option C. Now, this kind of a question has been repeated in several of these competitive exams, um, and they are given in, you know, different formats, but the concept remains the same. So basically, this question talks about positive integers n. So there are n number of positive integers, okay, which is there in the set Sn, which is defined as S1 is 1, S2 is 2 and 3, S3 is 4, 5, and 6, etc. So that means the set Sn will have n positive integers. Now the question is, where will Sn start from and where will Sn end at? This is the question. So as you can see that Sn plus 1, which is the next set of numbers, which will consist of n plus 1 consecutive integers, and the smallest one will be the next one after Sn. So if this is n, the next one would be n plus 1, and there would be n plus 1 integers, right? Now the question is, what is this? What would be this? So for that, we have to observe the last digit of each of the sets. So if you observe the last digit 1, 3, 6. So the next one would be S4 would be 7, 8, 9, 10. The next one would be 10. The next one would be 11 to 15. 15. The next one would be 21. Now what series is this? This is a very famous series.
Sir, 1 then 1 plus 2 plus 3 and it goes on like that one.
Yes. What series is this? So okay, so you have to be familiar with these three basic series. 1, 3, 7, 15, 31. What series is this? This is 2 to the power n minus 1. Right? The next series is 3, 5, 9, 17, 33, and so on. What series is this? 2 to the power n plus 1. And the third series is this. What series is this? This is n into n plus 1 by 2. Right? So if you put n equal to 1, this would be 1 into 2 by 2, which is 1. N equal to 2, 2 into 3 by 2, which is 3. N equal to 3, 3 into 4 by 2, which is 6, and so on. Right? Right?
Yes, sir.
So this is a standard series which you should be familiar with. So if you look at each of the sets, the last digit of the set is this number. So that means the last digit of set Sn will be n into n plus 1 by 2. Right? So they are asking for the sum of all the integers in the set S21. So that means we have to find the last digit of the 20th set. The last digit of the 20th set would be 20 into 21 by 2, which is 21 into 10, 210. So the 21st set will start from 211, then it will be 212, etc. up to 21 terms. So the sum of this would be an AP of common difference 1. So the sum would be 21 by 2 into 2 into 211 plus n minus 1, which is 20 minus 1, 21 minus 1, which is 20 into 1. So which is 211 into 2 is 422 plus 20 is 442 into 21 by 2. 442 into 21 by 2 is 221 into 21, which is 4641. Here, again, this is a very straightforward one. If the constant term in the expansion of this binomial is 405, then k is equal to what? Now, the rth term in the expansion of this, in the expansion of a plus b to the power n, is ncr into a to the power r into b to the power a to the power n minus r into b to the power r, right? This is the standard
Sir,
nth term,
sir,
rth.
wouldn't that be r plus 1th term?
Sorry, yes, you are right. This would be the r plus 1th term, correct. So the r plus 1th term would be ncr into n minus r by a to the power n minus r into b to the power r, right? So here we are looking for the constant term, right? So the rth term, r plus 1th term would be 10cr into x to the power half to the power 10 minus r into k by x square to the power r. So which would be 10cr into x to the power 5 minus r by 2 into k to the power r by x to the power 2r. So that would be 10cr into x to the power 5 minus r by 2 minus 2r into k to the power r. And this value is given as 405. So the constant term means this value will be equal to 0. That means 5 will be equal to 5 by 2 r. So r would be equal to 2, right? So that means this would be 10cr into k to the power r, which would be 10c2 into k to the power 2 equals 405. So that means 9 into 10 by 2 into k square is 405. So this means k square, this is 45. So 405 by 45 is 9. So k square is 9. So k is plus or minus 3.
So I have a
Yeah,
doubt.
yeah,
How come we equate the powers of x?
equal to 0, right?
Yes.
Right. So when they are talking about the constant term, that means it will not have any powers of x. No powers of x, right? For example, I'll give you a very simple example. X plus 1 by x square. This is equal to x square plus 1 by x square plus 2. So 2 becomes the constant term. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Sir, that means the coefficient one.
Hmm. Coefficient? Sorry,
Sir,
come again.
that means the coefficient of x.
The coefficient of x is what they are looking for. The constant term means the coefficient of x such that x to the power is equal to x to the power 0, right? So so consider this. If you expand this binomially, what do you get? 2c0 into x square plus 2c1 into x to the power 1 into 1 by x to the power 1 plus 2c2 into 1 by x square. This is what you do, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
the constant term becomes this because the powers of x cancel out, right? Whenever you
Okay,
have
sir.
x in the numerator and denominator, so for some value of the power of x will cancel out, and that will become your constant term, just as this became your constant term here. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. And this is the standard application in any binomial expansion. If you have to find the constant term, find the r plus 1th term and equate the power of x equal to 0. From there, you can find the value of r and then put that value of r in the coefficient. That will give you the value of the coefficient. Consider the equation in the form x squared plus bx plus c equals 0. The number of such equations that have real roots and have coefficients b and c in the set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and b may be equal to c. So how many such equations are possible based on this condition, right? So real roots means the discriminant should be greater than equal to 0, which means b square minus 4c should be greater than equal to 0, or b square should be greater than equal to 4c. This has to be the condition based on which we have to select values of b and c from this. So what values can b take? Can b take the value of 1? No, because if so, from this c has to be less than equal to b square by 4. So if b is 1, c has to be less than equal to 1 by 4, which cannot happen. So b cannot be equal to 1. Now if b is equal to 2, then c has to be less than equal to 1, which means only one value. If b is equal to 3, then c has to be less than equal to 9 by 4, which means c can take the values of 1 and 2. If b is equal to 4, that means c can take values of 1, 2, 3, and 4, because c has to be less than equal to 16 by 4, which is 4. So c can take 1, 2, 3, 4. If b is equal to 5, c can take values of 5 square by 4, which is 25 by 4. So c can take values from 1 to 6. b is equal to 6. C would be 36 by 4, 9. C has to be less than equal to 9. So c can take values from 1 to 6. So how many possible values are, how many possible pairs of values are possible? 6, 6, 4, 2, and 1. So 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 6, 18, plus 1, 19. Here, okay. The number of polynomials of the form x cubed plus ax squared plus bx plus c, which is divisible by x square minus 1, where a, b, and c belong to the set of 1 to 10. Right? So that means if x square plus 1 divides the polynomial x, that means the remainder has to be 0, right? And x square plus 1 has to be a factor of px. So that means p of x square equal to minus 1 should be equal to 0. So if I put x square equal to minus 1 in this, what do I get? I have x square into x plus ax square plus bx plus c. So this is minus, so in place of x square, we'll put minus 1. So minus x minus a plus bx plus c, which is b minus 1 into x plus c minus a. Now this is my remainder. And this has to be equal to 0. That means the coefficient of x has to be 0 and the constant term has to be 0. So which means b has to be equal to 1 and a has to be equal to c. So b can take only one value, right? And a has to be equal to c. That means corresponding to b equal to 1, I can have any of these values for a and c will have the same value. So that means there are 10 possible values possible for a and c. Clear? Okay. The number of ways in which one can put 3 balls numbered 1, 2, and 3 in 3 boxes labeled A, B, and C, such that at most one box is empty. At most one box is empty, which means there are 2 cases possible. Case 1, no box is empty. And case 2, exactly one box is empty. So if no box is empty, that means each of the boxes has to have one of the balls. So that means A, B, and C. So I can drop any of the ball in boxes. So this can be filled in 3 ways. Corresponding to that, this can be filled in 2 ways, and corresponding to that, this can be filled in 1 way. So the number of ways in which this can be filled is 3 factorial, which is 6. Now, if one box is empty, let us take any one box as empty. So A is empty. So that means I have only 2 boxes, B and C, in which I can fill the 3 balls, right? And B and C both has to contain at least one ball, because I cannot have 2 boxes empty. So that means let me pick one ball out of 3 balls, which can be done in 3 ways, and fill the box B, right? Correct?
Yes, sir.
So therefore, I can have 2 combinations in C, right? So for example, if I have 1 here, I will have 2 and 3 here. If I have 2 here, I will have 3 and 1 here. If I have 3 here, I'll have 1 and 2 here, right? So this is one possible set of combinations, right? So this would be 3, not 2, right? So that means if I fill box B, automatically my box C is getting filled. So there are three possible ways to do this. And then I can swap this between B and C. That means I can have the same combination. B can have 2, 3, 1, 3, and 1, 2, and C can have 1, 2, or 3. So that means I can have three combinations here, right? Correct? So for any one box being empty, I can have 6 combinations. Now I can choose any of the boxes to be empty. So that means I can choose any of the 3 boxes to be empty, right? Into 6, right? Plus 6, right? Sorry, not plus. Into 6, right? Right? So that is giving me 108. But my options are 6, 24, 42, and 18. Right? So what is happening here? Which one have I double counted? I have double counted one of them. Which one have I double counted? I have double counted this one, last 6, because when I'm counting this combination, right, automatically my other combination is getting fixed. So if this is one combination, this is the other combination, right? So 1 and 1, 2, 4, 6, right? So this would be 3 into 6, which is 18. Clear? Sorry, 3 into 6, 18, plus 6, which is not 18, plus 6 is 24. Clear? Is it clear? So for
Sir, please explain the case 2 again.
okay, case 2 means one box is empty. Okay, let us assume A is empty, right? So there can be 3 cases. B can have 1, C can have 2 and 3, right? Now corresponding to this, I can flip it around. So I can have 2 cases here. Next case, B can have 2, C can have 3 and 1. I can flip it around. I can have 2 here, 2 cases here, and then 3 and 1, 2. I can flip it around. I can have 2 cases here. So total number of cases is 6. Correct? So for any one box to be empty, there are 6 possible combinations of the other 2 boxes. And I can choose one box out of the 3 boxes in 3 ways. So 3 into 6 is 18, plus 6 will be 24. Okay. Is it clear?
So why have we added +6?
Because this is case 1, right? It is, what is the condition? Condition is either we can have case 1 or case 2. There is no connection between case 1 and case 2. There are 2 different cases.
Thank you, sir.
Case 1 is what? Each box is having one ball. That has no connection with case 2. Right? Case 2 is a combination of these 6 possibilities. But case 1 is different. Case 1 is I